I moved here to St. Augustine, Florida to live my dream life. It didn't take long to realize other people did too. People who took a leap, followed what they loved, and built something of their own in this magical little town. The Soul-Led Sessions is about those people, the stories behind the businesses you see, visit, and fall in love with. Not just what they've created, but what it really took to get there. The risks, the pivots, the moments that changed everything, and what it actually looks like to build a life that feels aligned. These conversations are here to connect you to the heart of entrepreneurship, and maybe even to what's possible for your own life. Here I am with Cathlene Miner from Hopefull Handbags, and we're in her beautiful home in St. Augustine. I'm so grateful that you're having me here today to chat.
I appreciate you coming.
I'm grateful.
It's great to have you over here.
Yes.
And be able to be on my side of the area.
Your
space.
space.
I don't think that you are too far.
Not too far. I'm just not close to the water. Not as close as you are. You're in this beautiful space, and
thanks
so close to the water. Yeah, thank you. So tell us a little bit about Hopefull Handbags and your mission there.
So Hopefull Handbags is a nonprofit where we help survivors of domestic abuse and their children to safety, health, wellness, and long-term financial stability.
Wow.
So it's not a one-stop shop. And the best way to explain it is we tend to pick up where other places stop, right? Because in domestic abuse situations, there's typically an emergency situation at some point. Not always.
Right.
Well, depends on how you define that. But you know what I mean? Like where the police have to be called or something quickly. Sometimes that does happen.
Wow.
But that's not all the time. Right. Sometimes this stuff slowly gets to a point where somebody just knows they need to get out.
Wow.
And they call us. We go through safety plans. I mean, there's so much that we do and we can't just define it. We don't have a checklist.
Sure.
If you name it, we've probably done it. And so when emergency services come in and they get them to emergency shelters and things like that, you know, that's great because we need to have safety first. But there's a whole other line of things. There's a whole to get that 180, right? To get to the other side of somebody being independent, financially independent as well, right? So even if it's the breadwinner of the home, typically they don't have full control over the finances or there's something not right there. Anyway, we can get into all of that. But I started this because my mom grew up in a very abusive home. So my grandfather not only abused my grandmother, but all of the children. And we lived across the street from my grandparents when I was little. And I never quite understood why until I got older. And the reason was we, you know, my mom had siblings that were mine and my sister's age. So she was still wanting to be across the street to protect everybody in the house.
Oh, wow.
And I do remember my aunt and uncle, our ages, you know, my sister and I ages, running across the street, you know, Debbie, you've got to come. And I always just knew nothing, well, this isn't the way we lived across the street. Something's not right. This is, and I never understood why my grandmother stayed. I mean, all these things. And I do have to say, so my mom had me when she was 15. My dad was 17. They're still together. They are the most amazing people.
Wow.
So, you know, she learned how to take care of all this at a young age. And so that's really why my passion lies for that, because I always wondered why my grandmother stayed. Now, my grandmother passed away now. I have to think of how old I am. Gosh, over 35 years ago.
Oh, my goodness.
Close to 40 years. From a brain injury. I mean, I think you just, so we'll never know if she would have had somebody to reach out to, if she would have. But I always wondered why people stayed, number one. So I went and got certified to be a domestic abuse advocate in 2016. You know, I raised my 4 kids and all. And the first thing I found out was there's no one reason why people stay. Every situation's different.
Everyone.
Right? It might look like the same from the outside when people describe it, but it's not.
It's different, especially on the inside.
So much on the inside. And also kids, right? Depends on how many kids you have. Depends on the age of the kids. Depends. I mean, there's so much stuff involved in one family.
Right.
So what we do is we approach it from a family approach, not just the survivor.
Oh, wow.
Right? The kids as well.
That's powerful.
Where are they?
Yeah.
What do they need? because what is their sense of normalcy? Like
Right.
we've got to also get that going again. What is a sense of normalcy? Not necessarily what they've been living, but like how can they be able to experience their childhood in a better way?
Right.
So that's why it's so, when you say, oh, tell us about Hopefull Handbags, I could be here all day.
We could sit here all day and talk about it.
Yeah, there's a lot involved.
What about getting started? I know you said that you were just really curious as to why your grandmother stayed and how that happened. You didn't really recognize that till you were older, but then in 2016 decided to become an advocate. So how did you make that decision? And did you go to school for this? Did you?
No, I didn't go to
take that route. Not until later.
No. Well, a lot of stuff that I've done in my life, which we can get into, is by experience. Experience. And I have to think of how old I am, but I am 54. Yeah, I'm 50. I think I'm 54.
You think you're 50?
I was born in 1972.
That's a good thing. You don't know when.
I
love it. I love it.
But, a lot of the things that I've done in my life, because, you have to treat a nonprofit like a business because it is. You need money to help people. So, but I've done other things in my life. But what got me started was wanting to raise hope to survivors of domestic abuse. Yes. I always wondered, again, if my grandmother had somebody to reach out to, would she have done it? Now, I don't know if she would have. I don't know. Especially, we're talking about years ago when things weren't talked about as much as they are now. And my mom, tells stories about how the police would come and it was kind of like, okay, what happens behind closed doors? But then again, it's not their fault either. Right. You have the survivor. And I even see this these days. Listen, I see it. And they'll say, but I'm going to be fine. I don't want anything to happen to the person. So
right.
You know what I mean?
Right.
So then they start covering for all the abuse that just happened. But they called about the abuse. So there must have been a problem. Anyway, I always wondered what she would have done if she really, truly felt like there was no judgment. Now, people call us typically before they call the shelters and before they call the police. And they do that because we're neither one of those. Right. Now, do I have to sometimes, depending on the situation, say this is our best? You have to
get them involved.
You've got, yes, and we have to do that. But people feel like once they make that call, it's done. Like they're in the system now, right? Right. So they're afraid to make that call all the time. So we started collecting handbags. My grandmother always kept her handbag close. Like always. She always had her purse. And I know you guys remember JCPenney's.
Interesting.
I remember going like every 6 months, we would bring my grandmother to the store and she'd pick out a new handbag. Oh, really? And so she had everything in that handbag. And if she didn't have it in her handbag, she had it in her bra. And that's kind of where I get my habit of like shoving inside. So my mom and I started collecting handbags to spread domestic abuse awareness. Wow. That's how it started. Wow. And I put a post out on Facebook, and this was back in 2016. And then I had people just messaging me saying, where do you live? I've got some handbags I collected. I have some necessities. And so they were dropping them off. Spreading. So this space that you look at, that you're in right now, like there was a time when this was just filled with handbags and necessities. Really? Like just bins. No kidding. Right? So then we decided to go ahead and start a 501c3. And we did that because people also sometimes want write-offs for what they're doing, right? Sure, yeah. And also then we could start trying to get more services and resources to help these survivors and their kids. More than just the handbag. Right. So the base of what we do is still the handbags. We still fill the handbags with necessities. We donate them to survivors of domestic abuse, whether it be through people who reach out to us, shelters. We're coordinated with all the shelters in the area, as well as, some church organizations help domestic abuse. It just depends. If they reach out to us, and that's what we're here for. We will give them stocked handbags. Right. We tag the bags and we put handwritten cards in the bags. And we tag the bags for a couple of reasons. One is the first time I went to go drop off handbags at a shelter, I was helping them get into the back room, and I noticed other handbags there. And I was like, oh, this is nice. And people are donating handbags. That's great. Yeah. And then we started looking through the handbags, but they had half open bottles of, lotions. And because people want to help, they just sometimes don't know what to do. Right. Right. That's fine. They don't know how to give. Right. Just things that we needed to make sure that whatever we put in these bags, we wanted them to know that if they see that our Hopefull handbag tag, they can just pull that and give it. We know everything inside has been cared for. It's all new. We don't even, you can't put Tylenol. Right. And some people have things that might, do that.
Yeah.
So we tag the bags for that reason. The other reason is that we have found out our survivors, and we did this for this reason, they will keep that tag and then hand it to other people that might need assistance. And that's how we start to do that. The other way that we spread awareness is we have drop-off locations, and that gets businesses involved.
Terrific.
Right? If you become a drop-off location,
so great.
In your business, and then people come in, it spreads awareness, and also people want to know how they can help.
Yeah, I was going to say, and it also creates a safe space.
It absolutely does.
So you've got safe spaces all over
town. We do, and we've had that, and we've had instances where survivors have come in and they call us and say, "Hey, listen, this person has come in. What, can I have them call you, or what do I do?"
Yeah.
So that's how we started, and now we do so much more. I mean, because again, the handbag raises awareness. It opens the conversation.
Right.
But now we've got to figure out, okay, where are you in this process?
Right.
Are you still with the abuser where we need to work on getting out? Is that what we're doing? Are you already out and they don't know how to move forward? They just don't know how because they're stuck in cycles.
Cycles.
Right?
Yes.
And their routines are just the same thing, which is not going to change anything, right?
Right.
We want nothing.
Nothing changes if nothing changes.
Right,
that's
thing.
One of my
favorite
things to say.
One of the bases of everything that we work on with every one of our survivors is self-perception, what they think and feel about themselves.
It's so important
because that dictates the chances you take, the choices you make, the relationships you stay in, and the ones that you leave.
Yes.
Whether it's business or personal.
Yes, absolutely. And everybody should have that empowerment. I mean, we should be learning that in first grade.
So, in saying that, and I actually wrote a book about it. It's called The 30-Day Self-Perception Makeover.
Do you mind if I take a peek?
Yeah. And I also have a teen edition. So what I've done with this and what we use, and we help people, not only domestic abuse survivors, but everybody. Like you said, everybody needs this.
Yeah.
And the reason is what we think and feel about ourselves, the outside world starts to dictate that.
Beautiful.
Right? And the outside world, because we start believing what people say.
Right.
And then we start questioning what we really do think of ourselves. And we take that on.
True.
And obviously, that's how we see this with preteens and teenagers all the time. All the time.
Especially in that vulnerable age range, But some people, it never leaves, I think.
Right.
It never goes away.
Right. Especially depending on what they end up doing after those ages, right? Do they get into a relationship that tears them down?
Right.
And then they start to believe that. So we break it up into days. I have written now 3 books. And I don't really care to read, to be honest.
Yeah, you just wrote them and you put them out there.
Well, I guess what I'm saying is because I wrote the books the way I would read. So the way I read is in small sections. Like I'm a magazine, back in the day.
Yeah, when there were magazines. I mean, I think they're still out there, but I know what you mean.
Small articles.
That's how I am as well.
Right, I can get it. And that's just the way I learn and read. So I've made the books that way too. So like the 30-Day Self-Perception Makeover, every day is like a page and a half.
Great.
And then
just enough time for people to absorb
it. You can do it. Yeah. It's got hands-on work. And so anyway, that is the base of what we do. Because we find if we build from there, then we've got a chance for real change.
Right.
If we don't, they start questioning themselves every step of the way.
I'm sure. Yeah, I could see that.
So,
wow.
There's so much.
There's so much, and you're learning as you're living out. I always love when people not only find their passions and live it out, but when they learn and heal themselves through their passions. Right. So through your work, you are learning and healing and growing and,
I have learned so much from everybody that I've ever worked with.
Yes.
I mean, and I still am to this day, because we got to also talk, when we go into houses of survivors from the outside, it might look like it's all together.
Yeah.
You go inside and it's literally in shambles.
Oh my goodness.
Like,
physically in shambles, really in shambles. Wow.
And when you see something like that, you can see how their mind is already.
Right.
Because this is what they're seeing every day.
That's a chaos. It's just one big cacophony of...
So it already gives you a clue as to what it is that they're dealing with.
And that's not overwhelming to you to walk into a space. You've learned how to just, I know where to begin now. You kind of get a better idea.
And I'm very good at organizing and coming up with plans in my head to where I can just, okay, that has to be done first. We do it in order. It doesn't all get done at once.
Right.
I mean, we've had instances where every appliance in the house wasn't working.
Jeez. So you've learned to prioritize what's important first.
Yeah, how do we,
how can we get them functioning?
Correct. How do we get the
quickly
house
as
functioning?
possible?
Because obviously it's typically the mom, right? I mean, how are they able to take care of these kids if they don't even have a stove that works? The refrigerator's not working.
Unreal.
And these are, and I guess what I'm getting at too is these are homes that from the outside look like it's all together. It's not.
They're all manicured on the outside and pretty.
People have a tendency and the stigmatism of, that people will think, well, everybody's either poor that come from these situations or, they must have grown up in the situation. And that's another thing that I try to,
that stigma.
The people that typically come to us actually live pretty well. From the outside.
From the outside, yeah. They look put together. They're probably doing the things that
they are. Their kids are doing the things. And I don't even know how sometimes the kids are doing the things because of the fact of what they're living in.
Right.
But then, not everybody has been through abuse.
Right.
In their past. People typically think, well, they must have grown up this way.
Not necessarily. Yeah.
You get one manipulative person. You get in a relationship with a manipulative person.
They take advantage of you.
Will start making you believe that you're not good enough, making you believe that whatever they're doing to you, you deserve.
Wow. You're not worthy and you're not. All of those things that women tend to believe, especially from someone who loves them and who they love, who they trust.
Right. Yeah. And the other thing is they start to feel like you just said, that person is the one that is the only one there for them because in most abuse situations, they start to, we talk about this with dating abuse when I go talk in the colleges and universities.
Oh, yeah.
One of the first signs.
So important also to get to that.
One of the first clues here is isolation, right? So when they start to isolate them from friends and family.
Yes. Big red flag.
Huge red flag.
Huge red flag.
So then they've got them isolated.
Yeah.
Then they think they're the crazy ones.
Yes.
And then they have nobody to reach out to because they've already been convinced that this person that's basically the one that's isolating them is the only one that cares about them. All the things.
Horrible. And it's so rampant. I mean, I have loved ones who are going through that. And it's.
I think we all have.
And the way they manipulate, the way these narcissists, manipulators manipulate the mind. And so they use so many different modalities to do that.
Oh, yeah.
So many different ways. There's no one way. Again, very complex.
They know what they're doing.
Yeah.
And they do it strategically.
Yes, they do.
And that's why those people are the ones that when they're at the parties, people are thinking, oh my God, that's the best person ever. I would just love to be with them. I mean, I'll be honest, I can see right through it.
You know the BS now.
I see it.
Totally.
I see it.
You can. I'm sure you've seen all of that. I mean, there is a type.
There is a type.
There is a type.
And it's hard though to get the survivor to see that they're not wrong. They've reached out for a reason.
Right.
Because they know something's not right.
Yes.
So I don't have to talk them into anything. They're the ones that reach out.
Right. But you almost have to convince them after that point.
I have to remind them.
Yeah.
I've had some of them say to me, I'm waiting for somebody to tell me that I had something to do with this. Well, I mean, you could ask the person that's treating you like garbage. They'll tell you. But anybody else from the outside looking in knows that you did nothing.
Right.
To be treated this way.
Nothing.
So
you do not deserve this.
Right.
Yeah.
And all abuse isn't physical. It's another thing. All abuse is not physical.
There's a lot of different forms.
Yeah. There's isolation. Psychological is one of the biggest ones. Making somebody believe something about themselves or a situation and turning it around in their head. They start questioning themselves.
Right.
So then you take put kids in the situation, which almost everybody that we help has children. You put kids in that situation and then the kids start manipulating or they start questioning themselves. It is a big thing. So every situation, we take it from a family approach.
I love that you are doing this because there are so many things out there already that help with, just like you said, the emergency.
Yeah.
They help with the instant. They help with but beyond that, I mean, it's almost as the same as when someone passes away.
Yeah.
The grief, strikes after. The trouble comes after, because now you're dealing with, sure, you have a home, maybe you have a job, but now you're dealing with all of the psychosomatic and all of the psychological things that happen to a person when they've been taken out of an abusive situation, and totally, replacing their thoughts, their everyday thoughts that happen.
And their habits. So,
and their habits.
Our programs, we have a shine, right? Safety, habits, independence, new way of living, and empowerment.
Wow.
And our habits, that's a huge part. Our habits.
Yes.
That's part of what we do with the self-perception makeover is what habits are moving you forward, what's keeping you stuck, and which ones are holding you back.
Beautiful. Again, which everybody should be doing.
Right.
Yeah,
eyes program
for
with
sure.
our children,
yes.
right? With the resilience. And,
that's beautiful.
And coming back from that, and what's normal? What's their normalcy like, right?
Yeah.
I mean, sometimes it's we our survivors and their children we call them getting into our program. I don't even really like to call it a program but you almost have to call it that, because if you're going to apply for a grant, you got to have a name and you got to have all this. But, but we don't have check boxes, right?
Okay.
So when we're working with, sometimes it might be, so-and-so is having a birthday. What are we going to do to make their birthday feel a little bit special?
Wonderful. And you have the leeway to do that. You're able to kind of utilize the funding to whatever you need at the time for each family.
And we're here for
totally personalized
sustainability. Wow. If it'll lead to long-term sustainability,
that's incredible.
We're going to do the best that we can to make it happen.
That really is incredible.
And these people, I say they're with, so when I said it from the beginning, it's not like a one-stop shop, meaning if somebody calls us, and it's obviously we're going to do what we can if it's a one-time thing, but because we got to dig into budgets. We got to dig into finances. Like we get into people's everything.
Oh, I'm sure.
I'm talking every bill, every account, and we have our own budgeting system that they use because, again, we have priorities here. If we're going to be helping you buy groceries for you and your children, are you buying alcohol? Are you buying cigarettes?
There's things that you can't support. Yeah, I can see that.
That's a priority thing.
Yes.
Now, if you have a drinking, there's a whole bunch of things that go on with this,
oh my goodness, yes.
If you're an alcoholic,
never thought of that,
you need
but
help with that. Okay, well, let's get you help with that.
Help with that, and so you can also facilitate that.
We don't do it all.
No,
we
right?
Can,
you can
source it out and say, hey, listen, this person needs this, because at the core of everything, we've got to get the base, the foundation. We've got to get that set before we can
work in anything else.
Move on, and so.
Get past the crisis and move on to building that foundation.
Right.
Yeah.
So, we're not sitting here being personal coaches. We're literally digging into everything. And they know when they come into our system here, this is what's going to happen. And if you're okay with that,
you put that all up front for them.
If you're okay with that, because again, our goal is long-term sustainability.
And to get them back on their feet and to be successful and independent and functional and
for them
all of
and
the things
kids.
They deserve to be.
So it typically takes 18 months to 2 years.
Wow.
So when I say we're walking hand in hand,
you're working with them for that amount of time. Women or men? I would assume there's men also.
We've not had many men. We do make man bags, but the men don't typically come forward. And it is mainly women. And it is mainly women because mainly the women have custody of their kids. Mainly it's the women because of just even size or, you know what I mean? Or
and you work through all that too, I would imagine, the custody piece.
And
you help source that out as well.
Yeah, there's a lot.
So this is really, it's fascinating to me. Were you a business owner before this, from the business side of things? Were you a business owner before you started Hopefull Handbags?
I'm training women now for over, how old am I? We just talked about that. I don't know.
50-something.
I think I started that when I was 20.
Okay.
So I've had kind of my own business doing that type of stuff as concierge type thing.
Okay.
So I've had that.
So you kind of knew how to run.
Real estate. No, I know how to do these things.
Yes,
right?
yes.
Yeah, I do know how to run businesses. My main business really was being a stay-at-home mom for over 20 years.
That's a business.
That is what I did.
And you were good at it.
I was good at it.
Yes.
And I say over 20 years because my oldest is going to be 35 and my youngest just turned 20. So,
wow.
you know, when you've got that many years of stay-at-home moms-ish, mom-isms.
You learn a lot as a stay-at-home mom, of 4 especially.
Absolutely.
I can vouch for that.
And we homeschool the children.
Business is easy compared to
That's what I mean. It's
stay-at-home mom.
24/7.
Yeah.
I mean, I was actually a supervisor at the Mayo Clinic.
Oh, wow.
When
Okay.
I was younger. I started there at 19.
So you've been through all kinds of
yes.
things.
And I worked there, transferred up to Rochester, Minnesota at Mayo.
Oh, okay.
I've done my stuff. I've been in the systems, you know, I know how those things work. So, but the one thing I guess I didn't think about when I started a nonprofit was I thought that everybody that had a nonprofit was in this together.
Oh.
I mean, this is what it is. I mean, there are some that are.
I kind of think that too, naively.
Not
so
all
I
the
guess.
time.
Okay.
And I didn't know it until I got in it.
And you're trying to work with other
Yes.
nonprofits.
Correct. And most of them are very workable.
Interesting.
Some of them are not. And I guess I never really, because I'm just that kind of a person. I always think about the best about everything and everybody, unless I see different.
Right.
And I don't even spend a lot of time on that, but I do think that not. I don't know.
That makes sense, though, that you would be working closely, probably, with many other nonprofits
and
if you need them.
Do.
You still
definitely
you probably
do.
have to. You can't really.
Oh yeah, we're never going to
do it without each other. So the collaboration is important. Yeah.
So, but all I'm saying is, in there, you kind of learn. It's kind of like though when you're working.
Yeah.
You learn
sure
who's gonna pick up the slack,
right?
Or who's gonna answer the phone, or who's gonna sit there and let it ring, or something, right?
And some people are more open to collaboration than others, even as a business owner.
They think some view as competition.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
And that's just not the way I think of things. And businesses think of things as the same way. And I guess I just never have. That's just not my.
You're not that type of person. Yeah.
Yeah.
It is a type. That's a type
it's
also.
It's a type.
Competition over collaboration when it really should be the other way
right.
around.
And so we collaborate. We collaborate all the time. So, and that's how we are now a global organization. So,
you're global.
We are global.
No kidding. Yes. I didn't realize that.
So what we do is we're officially obviously registered in the United States. And in Florida, and we have different areas of the United States where we can help somebody pretty much anywhere.
Okay.
Because we've just
That's incredible.
do it.
Yes.
Because I always think we can. Why not?
Where there's a will, there's a way.
Exactly right.
I love it.
That's exactly what I say.
I love it.
Way. We are officially registered as Hopefull Handbags in the Caribbean, in Kenya.
No kidding.
In Ireland, in Northern Ireland, and we're almost done with our registration in the United Kingdom, although we've been doing work there for a while.
Okay.
We do work in Canada. We're just not done with the registration there. And the way that we do it is we take the same format of what we're doing and we cater it to their culture.
Okay.
Right? But we also register in that country.
Amazing.
So
it's amazing.
The registration's separate for tax reasons and all of everything.
Okay.
Right?
Okay.
The other thing that I like to remind everybody is, and because I always get this question since we are global, and I'm very proud that we do this, and it has been, we're in our 9th year now. So we've been going pretty strong.
Yes.
Anything that's donated in kind or monetary stays in the area it's donated in.
Oh, wonderful.
So if it's donated here in St. Johns County, it is going to stay in St. Johns County and sometimes maybe go to a surrounding county, Putnam or someplace that.
But within the same state or within the same area.
Well, within the connecting counties. Now, typically it'll stay within St. John's and people know that. They know that if they donate here,
that's terrific.
I mean, if our neighbors need it, 15 miles down the road, we're going to help.
Right.
We're going to help them.
Right.
So, but that happens in any area that you're in, right? If somebody's doing a fundraiser in, Tennessee, it's going to stay in that area.
Wow.
So the same things with the countries. Now, again, we cater to our cultures. In saying that, we have put in now 21 rainwater harvesting tanks at schools in Kenya.
Wow. How cool is that?
Yeah, and these are rural areas
kidding.
in the Rift Valley. And, obviously these are survivors of domestic abuse and child abuse. But then we need, again, we talk about the base. You got to have your necessities met. Like when we go into a home and know the appliances are working, we got to have
You've got to take care of that. Yeah.
Well,
as soon as possible.
In those instances, they have no water. They literally have no water.
Crazy.
So the kids are having to bring water to school, right? So they walk about a mile, sometimes two, to the nearest river, which is dirty.
Right.
And they have to bring their water to school. Now, so we have to get their basic needs met. So when we put these water tanks in, they're 10,000 liter tanks.
Wow.
We have our bases built where they'll last for 20 years.
Incredible.
We don't send people over to do it. We have people on the ground there.
You do
Our
have
Kenyans
people.
that do it.
No kidding. So you're hiring local, helping the economy locally that way as well.
And teaching.
Wow.
Teaching a trade.
Teaching,
right?
Yeah.
Also going into the schools and those schools that we do, teaching them the value of sanitation and water and why are we doing this? And then we work on self-perception. What do they think and feel about themselves? And it, like I said, it's a huge stuff. Like what we do is a lot.
Enormous. Way more enormous than I imagined, actually. Even after having spoken with you before, I had no idea
lots of stuff.
The enormity of it and what you do. And it's not just a handbag.
No, it's not just a handbag.
Not even close to just a handbag. That would be easy.
Because the thing is, say, for instance, in Kenya, I mean, if you give them a handbag with necessities, that's not going to get them real far.
Right.
They need water.
It's not survival.
So what I was talking about with the base is the base that we lay these 10,000 liter rainwater harvesting tanks on is that they'll last 20 years.
Wow.
So the pipes, everything. So that's how we have to adapt to the culture, because once we can get the basic necessities taken care of, then we can say, okay, let's look at the situation you're in. And we can go from there. And obviously the culture there is different.
Right.
Then, abuse is something that's been going on. Well, I mean, they're just behind. Right. They're just behind. Caribbean, same. I mean, we got to handle that differently, right? We do a lot of self-defense in the Caribbean.
Really?
We do a lot of self-defense here in the U.S., in the U.K.
Wow.
That's another thing I'm very passionate about is self-defense. And not only, just because I think everybody needs to know it. So we don't just teach our survivors, we teach everybody.
It's another empowering thing to know.
Well, everybody needs to know
skill.
Because I think if you know it, you don't need it.
Yeah. I went to an all-girls Catholic high school, and we learned in our, I think, junior or senior year, we had to take a self-defense class, which I think we should be giving our children. That's another thing that's, to me, more important than science or history or,
And some of self-defense is about awareness. Especially the minute you're here, you're already a target.
Oh, gosh,
if you walk out like this,
you're not paying attention to your surroundings.
Walking like this.
Oh, all the time.
I mean,
all the time.
That's who these people are
completely unaware. And they know who to target. Yeah.
They absolutely do.
So going back to when you started this it started with a thought of a handbag, helping people with necessities. How did you know, first of all, when to grow or how to start growing? And then when, and then how did you know how? Like, 501c3, you said. How did you go from knowing just we're going to be a nonprofit to a full-blown 501c3?
Well, I knew that, just from my business perspective, I knew that businesses, even though they want to help, sometimes they're looking for a write-off too, or a tax benefit, or they just want to collaborate, say, with an actual nonprofit that they know what they're giving is actually going to the cause. Right. And so I knew that if I wanted to get more businesses involved and spread this, I needed to make it so that they could look up the name and be like, okay, this is legit. This is what we see they're doing.
Terrific.
And all of that.
And you can also accept from larger donors and things like that too.
Yeah, for sure.
You can go to businesses.
And you have to do that, right? Because then you have to get your books audited and then you got to get that. I mean, there's all those things.
Well, and I can't imagine how much those 10,000 liter tanks cost to build.
Well, to be honest, they're not that pricey.
They're not really.
So that's another thing. And I could just mention that if anybody ever wants to sponsor a tank, we can put a full tank in for $1,500.
Wow.
$1,500 US.
For 20 years. It'll last and sustain itself. Yeah. Wow. So why don't they have more? That's incredible.
Exactly. Well,
there's a whole separate conversation.
Podcast about the government and stuff. Some of the corruption.
Something I'm curious about, because I think taking on a lot of this, well, essentially it's responsibility, right, of helping so much to the point of helping people's bank accounts and helping with people's psychological state and helping. That's a tall ask of yourself, I feel. So how did you gain the confidence, I guess, to be able to do all of that?
I mean, I will say I've always kind of been a person, kind of like you said before, where there's a will, there's a way.
Yeah.
And I
love
think
it.
some of that is personality.
Yep.
You know,
Sure.
I mean, just like when I started at Mayo, I wasn't just going to be what they call the desk attendant. I mean, I was going to be the supervisor.
Gotcha.
Like, that was,
I love it.
mean, why would I just do
You're
that?
an all-in.
Like,
You're an all-in person.
right.
I love it.
So that some of that comes from that, right? And obviously, I have to give some of that credit to my parents.
I was just going to ask, do you think your mother, being brought up in the home she was brought up in, do you think she empowered you
of course,
to be more confident and more?
And my dad, I mean, the work ethic that my parents had and still do is, I mean, neither one of them, they were retired now.
Right.
But I always knew that my dad would always say, you can do anything. Anything can be done.
Anything.
Anything can be done.
No limits.
You just have to know you can do it.
I think that's incredible. You said they were 15 and 17 when they had you. That's because usually at that age, I shouldn't say usually, often at that age.
Well, I think look at a 15-year-old right now.
Yes. My gosh.
Most of them,
they don't have it together at all. But having the wherewithal to stay together, they must really love each other at that age. Did you know what love was? I mean, that's incredible. And to instill in you definitely what your mother wasn't given. I don't know about your father, but being able to provide that for you, I mean, you're a confident, amazing woman. And I think that comes from them for sure. I mean, a lot of that.
Right. So thank you. But you're right. And I have one sister. She's 16 months younger than me. She was actually an attorney in town. Like she's confident.
Right.
She talks for a living. We're going to laugh about that. Because she talks. Okay. But yeah, the confidence is there.
Yes,
and I think that we have to, I do give a lot of that credit to my parents. So how did I know that I had the confidence to do it? I just knew that I was going to do it.
Right.
And I'll figure out a way to do it.
You knew.
Even like the going global thing. Like, why
wouldn't we do that next, right? It's the next step. And you're going to figure out a way to do it. And we have to learn about the culture, and we have to learn about their needs. And
if you would have told me, even 7 years ago that I would know about rainwater harvesting tanks. I have no idea I don't even know. Is that the little thing you put in your backyard by the rain?
Right.
I mean, which it essentially is. But I know so much about this stuff now.
Yeah.
I mean, and that's what we were talking about from the beginning. I have done so much now, just because the older you get, the story gets longer.
Yes.
And I'm not done yet. I feel like once we're done, you're done. Like life's done, right? I don't know if I'll ever, satisfied is not the right word. I don't like that word, because I'm always satisfied and think of, okay, let's move on.
Yes.
What's the next thing?
Yeah.
What's the next thing?
I always say you can be grateful and want more. That's
what we're
okay.
here for.
You don't have to be grateful and content. It's okay to want more. It's okay to want to learn more, to grow more, to take in more, to give more. That's okay.
And that's what we work on our survivors with.
Yes.
And their kids.
Yeah. That's a hard thing, I think, for people to realize. Whether they've been brought up with religion or with mindsets, different approaches, that people think that, well, if they have, they should be happy with what they have. Be happy with what you have. People are told that all the time.
I mean, I'm happy, but that's what we're here for.
Yeah.
Is to want and do more.
Yes.
Right? And the way I look at it is, the more I can want and do more. If I wasn't like this, I wouldn't be able to help as many people. There's no way.
That's right.
If I decided I was done, I would not be able to.
And if you can't do it, then who is going to do it? Nobody else is doing this.
In our survivors, I get texts every morning. They have to send me the 5 things they're grateful for.
Oh, I love that.
We have to make beds.
I love that.
Making bed is number one.
Yes.
Everybody's got to make their beds.
Make your bed.
I get lots of pictures of made beds, because you got to start off the day with the right foot.
That's right.
Right.
So did your parents teach you that? Make your bed in the morning and
make your bed in the morning. Come up with habits.
Strong morning routine. Do you have a strong morning routine?
Yes, that has gotten me through everything.
Everything, right?
Everything.
It's a game changer.
And still to this day, even though I don't have any more kids at home, my morning routine was set so that I could live within my kids' schedule.
Yes.
Right?
Get the things done you need to do before they wake up.
So I have to get up.
Yes.
4 o'clock in the morning.
Wow. Are you up at 4?
I'm up between 4 and 5 now.
No kidding.
I can, I mean, when am I getting up that early for? But I still am an early riser, and I'm an early to bedder.
I was going to say you must go to bed early too.
Oh,
by 8 o'clock or 9 o'clock. Really?
There's some nights 7 o'clock I could be in bed.
Really? That's great.
I don't sleep a lot, but I need my sleep.
Yeah.
I'm not a night person. I'm just never have been.
Have been.
I love the early morning darkness. Something about that. So
the darkness before the dawn.
Yes. And my routine has always been, writing the things I'm grateful for. I read a few, depending on what time of my life I'm in, reading some things. My exercise is always in the morning.
Great. I agree.
Always.
If I don't get it done in the morning, it doesn't get done. And
it's
that
such
day
a
went
routine
by.
for me. And even times in my life where maybe I wasn't feeling well or whatever, and I couldn't work out, which was not very often because that is a routine.
That's it. Yeah, right.
But there are times, in your life, you have a baby, you do all these things. Yeah. And I would still go and follow the same process though. Even if I just sat, did the writing, did the reading, I go to the gym.
No kidding.
So I have a gym at home now, but I've almost always had something at home. Even when my older kids, and they are 35 and almost 31 now, I remember having a punching bag, weights in the corner of the living.
Punching bag is great.
Like a 900 square foot place, and I still had my workout stuff.
So do you encourage your women, your families to exercise in the morning? You give them a solid idea for a morning routine.
Some of them are different than others, right? Some of them, I don't care if you march in place for 30 seconds.
Right. Jump up and down on a little.
Doesn't matter to me. I don't care if you do this for 30 seconds. If it's more
some
than
sort of movement,
and you're doing it every morning,
that's an improvement.
All that matters.
Yes.
We have to get rid of clutter. Like there's so much involved in all this. But the bottom line is people are people. And I always feel like the people that we work with have huge hearts and they reach out for a reason. Right. And I know what we do works, but they also have to commit.
I was just going to say that word. Yeah.
I can't change it for them.
That's right. They have to be the ones to do it. Nobody can change it for them.
Correct.
That's reality in life, right?
And
you have to do it yourself.
Are ready. Some of them meander back and forth for a little while.
But usually they're to a breaking point when they call you.
Correct.
They're like beyond the point of wanting, what am I going to do? I need to do something.
And sometimes, they're ready. They might not leave right away. And then a year or two later, they'll call back.
And you can't do anything about that, right? You have to just be patient.
There's nothing I can do. I'll check in. I'll do what we need to do.
Right.
Try to keep in touch with the kids. A lot of kids have phones these days. A lot of preteens.
Oh, so you can contact them directly.
Well, they have my number, so they'll text me or call me. Yeah.
Oh.
And
you break a lot of barriers here. I feel as though, I don't know, I was going to ask if there's a lot of red tape when it comes to the state, when it comes to the county.
Red tape.
You don't do red tape.
Nope, we don't do red tape. That's why I started my own organization.
Fantastic.
Because
you don't have to deal with any of that.
Our donors are private donors.
Wow. That's it.
Most of we may get a few grants here and there.
And that's intentional. You did that intentionally.
Yes. And I will say, and then I can mention this, and then I know we're kind of running out of time, but so one of the things that if you apply for grants through the government or the states, any of them, they're going on this old model called the empowerment model. Okay. We don't go by the empowerment model. And I'll tell you why. So, and they want you to commit to going by the empowerment model in order to qualify.
Oh.
Okay. The first thing on the empowerment model is that you cannot tell a survivor what to do. Okay. That doesn't work for us.
I was going to say that. Who does that work for? Does that work for anybody?
I don't see it working for anybody.
Right.
Again, our goal is different than some other organizations. Our goal is long-term sustainability.
Yeah.
And when you are living in chaos and you are calling because you don't even know what the next step is or what you're making your kids for dinner,
right?
Or you can't get out of bed.
It's crazy. Why would you not?
I do have to say, and our mentors too, okay, you know what you're going to do? You're going to get out of bed right now while I'm on the phone with you. We're on FaceTime.
Good for you.
Let's go to the refrigerator. Let's go to the cabinet. Okay.
You walk them through it.
Oh, some days you could just,
wow.
Let's put that in the toaster.
So these are like crisis calls, really. They're having maybe a breakdown, or they're having a moment of feeling worthless or feeling
Oh yeah, that's all the time.
helpless or
Until they
it's a
get
lot.
to that point. So
Wow.
so I can't say we're not going to say, hey, listen, this is what you need to do.
Mm-hmm. And nobody can slap your hand for that because you are independent. You are your own.
I don't have to. Again, we have private donors.
Yeah.
And they agree. They want us to do what we're doing because everybody that donates to us has some sort of connection to this, right? Either they have a family member that's dealt with it, they've dealt with it, or an aunt or an uncle or a friend, or you know, they have, or they grew up in it, or something.
So it's so rampant. It's so
right. So
somebody's connected in some way.
Yeah. So they see that without guidance, how are they going to change?
Nothing. That's not empowering. How are you empowering somebody without guidance?
I mean, there's some people who are within those parameters who don't agree with me, and that's fine. That's fine with me.
Sure.
Because I know what works for our survivors.
You know what works.
And our kids. And I will rah-rah cheerlead them all day long. But I will tell them if they're doing something that's not going to serve their future.
Absolutely, right. And that's what they need. You're basically a mentor for them. Right. And they need a mentor because they don't have a mentor at home.
Right.
They don't have a mentor with the county. They don't have a mentor with...
change in order to change. That's
right.
So if I kept telling them, oh, honey,
I'm just hindering them.
And I don't hurt people's feelings, but this is my personality too. It's just, you don't ever have to wonder if I'm telling you the truth.
Right. I love
you may not want to hear it.
Sure. You may be triggered by it. You may.
But it is the truth.
But it's the truth.
And I can't, why sugarcoat it?
Which it takes, it takes that to do what you're doing. Right. You have to be that.
I have to. And so do our mentors. And this is why we do have some people on our team that are mentors and they're amazing. But not everybody can do this work.
Oh, I can imagine. Yeah.
Because number one, like you said, how do you not let it in?
It's a type of therapy that really doesn't exist. I mean, you've created your own form of therapy practically.
And I did a video on this, a podcast not too long ago, but if somebody really wants to go to therapy, we will find that for them.
Right.
And there's different kinds of therapy. I get that. Some people that need it. But the kind of therapy that just has people dig into their past over and over again, our survivors, they then call me distraught because they've just relived.
It's PTSD over and over again.
So we're really careful about that. I can't just willy-nilly give people, say, okay, go to this person, that person.
Because the ultimate, and I think people have a hard time hearing this, but the ultimate fact is you have to save yourself. Nobody is going to give you the formula or give you you ultimately have to save yourself. Even with all of the things that you provide for them, if they're not doing it, nobody else is going to do it. That's right. And it might be hard and it might be painful and it might be traumatic for them, but getting to where they want to go, to want to be happier, to be living a healthier life, a better life, they have to do the work to get there.
Them, they're setting an example for their children.
Yes.
Their children are watching them. And I've always believed, even for myself, that if there's something that I really want or think that I desire to live in a certain space or whatever, well, I'm going to create the space that I'm in now to reflect that.
Totally.
Right?
Yeah.
So that's something too that we do with our survivors.
I love that.
It doesn't matter if you're living in chaos. We're going to make this your sanctuary because if this isn't even where you want to be, we got to make this appreciate, right?
That's right. Be grateful now and want more.
And then we'll get rid of, we'll
love where you live and take care of but my husband always says, take care of the place that takes care of you.
Absolutely.
I love that because
it's the kids. They've got to learn.
That's what we teach our kids because, man.
I've seen some rooms.
Woo, I'm sure.
I've seen some rooms.
Yeah.
But anyway, this is a huge subject and I appreciate you talking to me about it.
No, I love it.
There's so many different instances that this comes into play with.
But I love to hear your perspective on it because it's such a unique, you're in such a unique lifestyle, living your dream life. Do you feel like you're living your dream life?
I do. I do because I just, the fact that I even have 4 grown kids now to me is just crazy.
And you setting that example for them as well.
Yeah.
4 grandkids. Yeah. And you're helping women and families all over
and my family
the
helps
world
too. meaning they know
I was
all
going
about
to
this.
ask, do
Yeah,
they
all have a part in it.
participate? And
All
yeah,
have a part in it in some
incredible.
way.
Yeah,
Because
beautiful.
that's what they know. I mean, right? Like,
Yeah,
that's what they know. My grandkids
yeah, right.
know how to fill bags.
Wow.
And
Do
you
they
can ask them, and they know about
adorable.
Hopefull Handbags.
How wonderful.
They'll talk about it, and
Yeah.
because that's just what they know.
Yeah, it's just part of their
They're
life.
just involved.
Right.
And, you know, now, luckily for us here in St. Johns County, we share a warehouse with another nonprofit
Oh, wow.
called Epicure.
Oh, yeah, I know Epicure.
Yeah, they're
great
amazing,
also.
amazing.
How wonderful.
Yeah, so that's very helpful for us because then we don't have all of our stuff here.
You can enjoy your space again.
Yeah, we can have people that can come help us fill bags.
Oh, isn't that wonderful?
Like
I was going to ask if you could tell the audience what you have, if there are volunteer opportunities, how to get in touch with you, if you prefer people to go to a website, if donors want to donate, where do they go?
Yeah, so hopefullhandbags.org, and it's hopeful with 2 L's. Like full of hope, hopefullhandbags.org. And those emails come straight to us. If you hit contact us, and we also have a form on there you can fill out to volunteer.
Okay.
We are in the midst right now of building a new warehouse. Epicure's building one. We're moving with them.
Great.
And so right now we don't have a ton of space for hands-on, but we always do need people that can eventually maybe one day be a mentor or something.
Okay.
And that, like we said before, that takes a very special person.
Yes.
You have to have time. You have to have patience.
Mm-hmm.
You have to know what to say and when to say it. And I say that because even though we might think something, this is just with everyday life, right?
Mm-hmm.
Not everybody's ready to hear it.
Right.
You just got to feel people out and know.
You have to know.
And I think that that's just an instinctive gift that people have.
I could agree with that.
I think it's hard for somebody to learn.
Right. You can't really teach it.
And there's nothing wrong with that. It's just maybe not the best fit.
Right. That makes sense. If you wouldn't mind sharing, what is your favorite story to come out of all of this? Is there one that stands out that just really makes you feel like this is why I do what I do?
Yeah.
Or
there's quite a few.
I was going to say, or maybe more than one.
There is, but a survivor that had 2 kids, didn't drive, was still in a marriage, and just so many things, just not only helping with self-perception and what they thought and felt about themselves, but the courage that they had to go through to file for a divorce and to get their driver's license and to, like, all these things change their lives, like I said, there's so many that we would be here all day.
Yes.
And also going in, the one that had, quite a few kids and the house was in shambles, and being able to go in and say, okay, getting the whole family together and saying, are you ready? Are you really ready for this change? Because you have to have everybody on board.
Everybody. It's not just the mother.
Correct.
The kids have to be on
especially
board
when they're a certain age, right? And, having people come in and take out everything that doesn't work and getting things back in there, and having just the sense of normalcy back to where you can look back now because it's been years and they're holding a job, they've got a car, the kids are going to school, their sense of normalcy is what you would want them to have.
That's the whole point.
That's the whole point. And that's really what we do. They're able to handle their budget. They're not spending money. I don't care whether you have $1 million or whether you have 5. If you don't budget it, you're not going to have it for long.
That's right.
So we definitely, the honing in on budgeting is one other thing that really lights me up.
And you've devised all of these programs as you went,
as we've went by the necessity of what people need.
Yes, wonderful.
So, and then we say that, and then something comes up that we've never done before.
I'm sure.
And we're like,
time to create something
we just do it. That's why I'm saying we don't have a checklist where we say we do this, 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 and this. If they're in our programs and they stick with us and we have the means to do it.
Amazing.
And it's going to serve long-term health, wellness, and financial stability.
All of it.
Even for the kids and the teens. And, we have scholarships we give out sometimes to help with schooling or tech programs or
it's great. So much. Well, thank you. I feel incredibly grateful to be here to share this with you and you sharing this with me. And it's such a vulnerable job that you have. It's such a you need to be a lot of different people.
You do.
In one person. So
and what we do is volunteer. So
I love it.
Volunteer.
And one more time, can you give the organization's name, the website?
Hopefull Handbags. That's with 2 L. Hopefull Handbags.
Love it.
And it's .org.
.org.
If you Google that, it'll come up.
We will have you in the show notes, and we'll make sure that everybody gets this information because it's well needed in the whole world, the global reach of it.
It is.
Thank you so much,
Thank you.
Cathlene. I appreciate your time and your energy so much.
Thank you.
I trust that whatever was meant for you in this conversation will remind you there's a way to build a life you love. Follow where it leads, and I'll see you in the next session. Be sure to like and subscribe to never miss an episode.